Hey guys, coming to you live from the Target parking lot of all places. Super excited to get our guest on today, Dr. Benjamin Perkus. While we wait for him to join us, I've had the privilege to spend some time with him in Florida a couple weeks ago, and I've also had him on another call a few months ago. And I thought this technique was the weirdest thing, and I didn't understand how it was possible that you could think of something, smell an oil, and associate, your thoughts with your brain and how you can release some things that you've been hanging on to for a really long time. I thought it was kind of weird. But until you understand the power of your brain and your thoughts and smelling an oil, it's pretty amazing what he has done and this technique that he has. And he has an awesome book. I purchased this book, and you can get that. I believe it's on Amazon. But hey, Debbie Gray. Hey, Stacy. So I'm excited to have him on, and I have got a few questions for him that you guys might have as well. But he's super sweet, and having seen him in person and doing this technique with him really changes the way I think about things. It's just pretty cool. So I hope you guys get some value today as we wait for him to join. Let's see, who do we got on so far? We got to wait till he makes a comment, and then I can add him in. Hey guys. So yeah, I hope you're all done cooking for Thanksgiving and got your dishes already made for tomorrow. I know I'm working on that as soon as I'm done here, so didn't think I'd be in this place at this time, but you know how life just is. Hey, there you go. Here, he's here. Dr. Benjamin Perkus is right here. So we're going to ask him to join. We're inviting him. Hey, Amy. Thanks for joining. Let's see. It's coming on. Here we go.
Hello.
Hey. How are you?
Doing great. I'm just fiddling with my tripod here, so I'm going to be wiggly until I get this thing out.
You should see how this thing is jacked up in my car. I got my wallet because my tripod broke. It's stuck in the holder where I put my pop. It's pretty not my pop, but my water. Who drinks pop these days, right?
It's the journey of the entrepreneur. We use what we have and we make it work.
You know what? I agree with you. Totally. This is just where I ended up in the Target parking lot. It's pretty fun.
Oh, I've done many a broadcast from a car. Hopefully when I'm not driving, but you never know.
Exactly. So I was just telling everybody a little bit how I was kind of skeptical about this type of thing, early on in the day before we understood the power of, our sense of smell and our thoughts. But after having done this with you a couple times and seeing you live doing it, it really put into perspective how much control we have over our thoughts and what a smell can do and how we can release some of these things that are really stopping us. Especially, I kind of wanted to focus on mental blocks for some people, because it's when things are blocked, you can't think about anything. You can't move on and you're just kind of stuck in a rut. And I think a lot of people are stuck, especially nowadays, with things they can't let go of. And that's why I'm thankful that you came on and could explain some of this to us. My first question is, does this how long has this technique been around, and did you discover this technique? Is that right?
Yes, I created the technique back in 2016, and it was really an integration of 20 years of clinical practice combined with 16 years of essential oil use. My wife and I started using Young Living in 2001. We're platinum members, and for many years I had a kind of this dual life, because I had my psychology practice, which I enjoyed, and I really felt I loved exploring people's lives with them, helping them move on from things. And I was always interested in learning techniques that would help. So I studied. I wasn't content just to take one school of thought and say, okay, that's what I'm going to do the rest of my life. That's just not me. So I was learning EMDR, I was learning tapping, neurofeedback, kinesiology, muscle testing, nutrition response, as well as the traditional modalities: cognitive therapy, behavioral, psychodynamic, existential, relational, there's tons, there's so many out there. So everything I would do was about learning, trying to get to the bottom of things and solve these mysteries. So I found it very rewarding to be working with clients in this way. At the same time, I had this kind of growing love for Young Living, for oils, for wellness, for helping people, take charge of their health. And so I kind of had this dual life where, by day I'd be seeing my clients, then, evenings and weekends, my wife and I would be doing lectures. And, but I felt a little torn and I felt a little silly as a psychologist, because not silly as a psychologist using oils, because I don't care about that stuff, but silly that I didn't know how to use them better, because here there are all these beautiful, blends, release and, inner child and surrender and forgiveness. I thought, well, those sound really cool. Do they really work? And how do I use them? And I'm kind of a left brain person. Ultimately, I need things to be in a logical format for me to understand it. So for many years, I didn't really understand it. And, then it was a couple of years ago, well, the first breakthrough came when I learned that I could use some of the other techniques I had found, EMDR and some others as well, where we could focus on a traumatic or a stressful memory and do some special ways to focus in on the body and the feeling and the thoughts, and then smell the oils, and the memory would just kind of dissolve. And it would happen consistently for people. It would help whether there were nightmares or flashbacks or anything like that. So that was kind of like my one-trick pony. Like, I knew that I could do that with the oils, and it was good. And Young Living sent me to Japan and Singapore to teach about this stuff. But a couple of years ago, it really started kind of gnawing at me. I knew I had this book in me that I wanted to write, but I didn't know what it was going to be about. I just knew I loved writing, I loved ideas, and I felt I had something to say because everything I had learned. So it was really when I came back from Singapore so we're talking April 2016, I came back from Singapore and I told my wife it's time. I said, I'm going to write this book. Now, this was April 19th. Convention was June 19th, so I had 2 months. So I said, okay, I'm going to give myself 30 days to write this book. And if I can write this book in 30 days, then I can get it printed and everything. Long story short, well, it's a short story, but make it even shorter, I did it. And I was able to, in that process, I figured out how to put the techniques in the right order, this 12-step process that we now know as AFT. And when we did it in the right order, the negative thoughts just dissolve. And I tried it on myself, it worked. I tried it on my clients, everybody I did it with, boom, boom, boom. Just, where'd the negative thoughts go? How come I feel so much better now? How come I'm ready to, take on the world? So I got the book done, I got it published, and published it myself. And I shared it, and there were some leaders who hired me to do Zoom calls for their groups, and they were having the most amazing experiences. I had 20 people on the call from all over the world, and I'm taking them through the process. They're like, whoa, what just happened? Where'd the negative thoughts go? How come I feel so good? And they're like, can I get certified in this? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, this is just a technique. I hadn't even thought of certification. But after about the third person said that to me, I'm thinking, well, maybe there's something that needs, people are wanting. What I realized, even though the technique is so simple that anyone can do it, people are complicated. And people come in with all their baggage of what they think they know about oils and what they think they know about, thoughts and beliefs and affirmations and law of attraction and all that stuff. And we kind of have to clear all that out and say, if you follow the steps, it's going to work. So in the book, I explain more about the sense of smell and why it works, why it's so powerful, which was really your question. And that is, because it's actually linked with our survival in our brain, and this goes back to an animal is, their sense of smell are usually more profound than ours, and they're smelling. They need to be able to smell if something is food or if something is poison. They also need to be able to smell their prey or their predator, and it has to be hardwired so that as soon as that rabbit smells that fox, it runs the other direction to survive. So we look at brain science, and in the amygdala is the fight or flight part of the brain. It only has two functions. The first function is to trigger the alarm bell if we're in danger. So it senses, processes all the input. Okay, am I in danger here? Is there something that I need to either fight or run away? The only other thing it does is processes the sense of smell. So the two things are hardwired. So because the sense of smell can trigger the alarm system, the sense of smell can also trigger the relaxation system, and it happens automatically. And I, looked around and noticed all the major religions use the sense of smell, incense usually, whether it's the Catholic Church or the Buddhist temple or the mosque or anything. And they're doing this to calm down that fight or flight, to calm down that sense of stress that we have in the world so we can tune into our inner self, our guidance, our divine guidance. And so I said, so the sense of smell can trigger the alarm. The sense of smell can also calm the alarm. So what if we combine these? What if we set up and now I understood why the technique worked so well, because we're setting up this alarming situation. We're feeling it. We're remembering the stressful memory. We're feeling it. We're feeling it in our bodies. And then we smell something that is totally different and that makes us relax. So what happens is the brain kind of gets confused as, well, wait a minute, because the feeling is actually the glue that holds together the thought, the image, and the bodily sensation. And we take that glue and we say, well, here, smell something nice. And the brain is like, well, I can't even really think about that anymore because I feel so good. And wait, where'd that memory go? And where'd that thought go? And that's what happens to people. They just it kind of dissolves. So that's what we've tapped into, this power of smell to dissolve these negative memories.
I got to say something, because I experienced when I was there a couple weeks ago in Florida and we did this together, I used Inner Child. And, I used to think, it's just the name of an oil. And there's a lot of skeptics out there that say, oh, just because the bottle says transformation doesn't mean you're going to be transformed. I mean, seriously, but I honestly, you guys, used Inner Child and I cried. I was sobbing like a baby when I smelled that, and I did this technique and stuff just poured out of me and I felt better. So you rock, Benjamin. I'm telling you, this is good stuff. So pay attention, guys.
And this is one of the ways that this technique is different than most aromatherapy, because if you just smell an oil, yeah, it's going to smell good. And, what we do with this technique is we don't smell the oil until we've set up your focus. And once you're focused on the problematic issue, and not just on the memory, but the thought, the feeling, where you feel in your body, when you have all that focus and then you bring the oil in, that's when everything just comes through. And that's what the piece I was missing before. Yeah, I would say, okay, well, I could give you some forgiveness oil, but I didn't really believe that, smell this and you're going to all of a sudden forgive.
Right.
So, so we just use a small set of the Young Living oils. We do it right from the starter kit. So I used to use Trauma Life, which is a fabulous oil. And now that it's back in stock, I suggest it again. But a couple of years ago, it was out of stock. And back then, stuff was out of stock for years. So I said, well, what can we use from the starter kit? Because everyone has a starter kit. I had frankincense, lavender, and stress away. All of those have good research supporting their effect on the brain. They're all calming. I said, let me combine those. And that was what we call a memory release blend. That's the first thing that you smelled the other day. And so we used that so that somebody with just a starter kit could process emotion right from there. So that was the first thing. But then Inner Child is such a fabulous oil for this. And that's where Gary is a true master. I am not an aromatherapist. I don't know how all the sesquiterpenes and this and everything comes together. That's his job. He's done the work. He's done the research. And so we use Inner Child. We use Release, which is great for anger and frustration and irritation and rage, but also anything that's stuck in us. So between the memory release blend, Inner Child, Release, you pretty much can handle any emotion that comes up. Now, I will say, so I want people to learn it that way. That's how I teach it in the book. Once people are intuitive, they're using the oils. If you're in front of your oils kit and you're going through the technique and surrender jumps out at you, or you're like, I just love Valor here, I say, fine, go ahead and use that. But, first learn it the way I teach it, because all the Young Living oils are such high quality. If we're using any Young Living oil, we're probably going to notice something. So what I did is I just put it in a recipe format that is simple enough that anyone can do it and can duplicate it. Because that was the other problem that I had, and part of where we ran into trouble, we had gotten to platinum and everything, but part of the problem for us was some of it wasn't duplicatable, because I was a professional speaker. So I was very comfortable on stage, as you are, on stage with PowerPoints and everything. I'm like, okay, guys, go do this. They're like, we can't do that. We're not a doctor. I'm like, you don't have to be a doctor. It's easy. Just do it. They're like, we can't do it. So I was so thrilled the first time, someone called me up who had gotten my book on Amazon, and they had never met me or seen my anything. And they read the steps, they followed the steps, they bawled their eyes out for about a minute, and then they felt great. Because it doesn't take long, right? It's
No,
intense,
it's quick.
but it's fast.
Yep.
Yeah. So that showed
Awesome.
me that these were duplicatable steps, and it wasn't some special thing that I was adding.
Right. So can you show us a step? Can you give us a quick little synopsis of how someone can apply this? And you guys, those of you that are on this call, you just need to get the book because it's a process, but give people an idea of how they could take something so simple and think of that thought like you taught us, just something small. Can you do that for us?
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
So
Ready?
and now I don't know if I should pick on you and do it with you or not, but
Doesn't matter. Go for it.
okay. So do you have an oil in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll use it. Whatever you got.
Okay. It's in the car.
Okay. So think about. Let's do it this way. Okay, I'll just take you through a round. I'll take you through a round of AFT. Okay, so give me a goal. This is step one. Is you're setting a goal, something you would love to see happen. Could be a big goal like I reach diamond by whatever date, or it could be a small goal like, I work out 3 times a week, or whatever. Something that you would love to see happen in your life, but you feel like you're not sure how it's going to happen.
I'd have to say diamond. It's a level in Young Living.
Okay. All right. So when you say, when would you like to be diamond by?
I wanted it by 2018, but by 2019 in 1 year.
2009 in 1 year. Diamond in 1 year. Okay. So when you say, I am diamond in 1 year, how possible does that feel to you right now?
About a 6, maybe a 5.
5 or 6. So yeah, so we say 0 is you feel totally hopeless, and a 10 is you totally got this. So yes, you're somewhere in between. Like you're not totally hopeless, but you're not totally sure either.
Yep.
Okay. So now step 2, you're going to listen in. What does the negative voice in your head say that tells you this can't happen?
I'm too busy. I'm not organized enough. I got a lot on my plate. I'm not. Yeah.
All right. We'll just start with the first one. I'm too busy. Okay. When you hear that voice saying I'm too busy, how do you feel? This is step 3.
I feel lost and crazy and,
Feel lost. Yeah. Okay. We'll go with the first you said.
Okay.
All right. Next step. Where do you feel that in your body? Where do you feel that lost feeling in your body?
And like right in my chest.
Yeah. So we ask for the body that helps magnify it. Now you can really feel that lost feeling in your chest. Okay. Next step. Step 5, drift back to an earlier time when you felt the same way. First memory that pops up could be recently or long ago. Tell me when a memory pops in, sometime in the past when you felt this lost feeling. You don't have to tell me what it is. Just tell me when you think.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
Got it? Okay, perfect. So, and this can be either a snapshot of a specific time, or sometimes for people it's like a movie, like of all the times they felt that way. But you got a time in mind?
Yep.
Okay. Great. Okay. Now take out your oil. Put a drop in.
You guys following along? You guys got to follow along. Okay.
And you guys can watch the replay too, and you can follow along in the replay. Okay. And breathe it in. And now close your eyes. Remember that memory. Focus on that memory that you just identified and that lost feeling. Breathe the oil into that memory for about 30 seconds and just see what you notice. Deep inhalations. Helps to move the energy. If there's any emotion there, and tears are shaking or anything, just ride the wave, let it pass through you. And just hold that until something has shifted, either the memory's dissolved or you've gotten some perspective. Or
Feel like it's nothing now. It's like I can't even remember. I can't even remember what the craziness was.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, it's that
weird,
quick.
Guys. Super cool, but yeah, amazing.
Okay, good. So we let that go. So we just dissolved some old junk. Doesn't matter what it was. And what's nice here is that people can have all kinds of traumas and everything. You don't even need to ask them what they are. They don't have to share. It could be a big or small memory. So that's nice. Okay, so now we go back to your original goal is I'm diamond in a year. How possible does that feel now?
A little bit closer. Because I'm not busy, because I let go of that thought. Right?
Bingo.
Gosh, you guys, it's not that hard. You can do this with anything.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're all walking around with this subconscious chatter that is really, and I explain it in the book, the subconscious chatter is, excuse me, is what happens when we are in a painful situation. So whatever that situation was, you were feeling lost or confused or overwhelmed, your brain developed a thought that said, I'm too busy. I can't be this busy. This makes me crazy, right? It developed this thought to protect you from having to ever experience this in the future. So our subconscious mind is actually there to protect us. But the trouble is, so then you set a goal of, well, gosh, I'd like to be diamond. No, you can't be diamond. You're too busy. That's going to cause problems. So the alarm bell goes off in your head because of that old subconscious stuff. But that's all relating to something in the past. That's nothing to do with diamond. So when we go back, right, we go back and we release that, you're like, well, sure, of course I could be diamond. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Right. That is so awesome. Guys, so that's not that hard.
So that was like, took us like 3 minutes. And so that was like one round. And usually in a session, we'll do usually about 3 rounds. Ideally, we do it until there's no more negative thoughts about you achieving the goal. So for fun, let's just check in again. So when you say this goal now, I am diamond in a year, listen in. Is there anything else the negative voice is saying that tells you this can't happen?
There's a slight doubt, but it's not as much as it was the first time. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. So a slight doubt. Yeah. Okay. So I have kind of a slight doubt. Is there anything? So? What does the voice say? Like, I don't know if I can really do it, or like, give words to that doubt.
Yeah. Like, it's so big.
It's so big.
It's a big step. Yep.
Okay, it's so big. It's a big step. Okay, how do you feel when you hear that voice say, it's so big, it's a big step?
I don't feel structure. I don't feel, I still kind of feel like it's too far away.
Okay, so we need a 1-word feeling. This is the hard part. Find a feeling word. So hopeless, helpless, powerless, confused.
Maybe confused.
Okay, so when you hear that voice saying it's so big, it's too far away, you feel kind of this confused feeling.
Yeah, like how am I going to get there? Like,
yeah, like confused. Yeah, it's not clear. It's kind of
not clear. It's not solid right there.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you feel that confusion in your body right now?
Right now it's in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Brain's part of the body. Okay. So connect with this confused feeling in your brain. Drift back to an earlier time when you had this same confused feeling. First memory that pops up, recently or long ago.
Okay.
Okay, once you have it, take your oil and smell it again. So this is where, if we had different oils, we might use different ones, but hey, use what we got. So go ahead, so breathe the oil, focus on that memory and that confused feeling in your brain. Breathe the oils into that memory. If you're following along at home, same thing, just take as long as you need. Breathe the oil into the memory. If you're watching on replay, you can even pause it until the memory's dissolved. And what'd you notice?
It's gone again. I let go of that. It's so weird, you guys.
This is fun, isn't it?
It's so fun. I want to teach this. Like I need to go to one of your class. I need to be certified or something.
It's so fun. It's so much easier. Yeah. Okay. It's so much easier than all these other complicated protocols with muscle testing and massage tables and layering and music and all this stuff. It's just, here you are in your car.
So cool.
Cool. Okay. So that dissolved. Okay. So we go back to the goal. I am diamond in a year. How possible does it feel now?
It's just front and center. Like it's like I don't even, at this moment, I actually don't even hesitate to say that. It's really it's clearer. Like that's a stupid old feeling just made it like come closer. You know what I mean? On the forefront. It's visually in my head better than it was.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Wow. So we're now starting to get into the law of attraction. So this is how we attract the things to us, by getting rid of the chatter that tells us that we can't have that it allows that focus to be straight and to go towards what we want. So I want you to create a affirmation now that expresses what you just learned. So the affirmation could be the same as your goal. It could be, I am diamond in a year, or it could be, I am focused on what I have to do, or whatever it is that I'm clear or I know. Like, how would you put into words what you're feeling now as an affirmation?
I'm just focused on diamond. I'm clearer in a year. I mean, I can even see it sooner for some reason. Like, I don't know. It's weird, right?
I'm focused on diamond. How about that?
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. So now so that was step 10. Now we're going to do step 11, which is you're going to say the affirmation. Now you're in your car, but we like to do it in a power pose. You saw how we did it in Sarasota. Yeah. So you can't do it in your, so you can do like that. You can put your hands on your hips. That's kind of like a.
Put my sunroof.
Yeah, right. How about put your hands on your hips like you're Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And say, I am focused on diamond.
I'm focused on diamond.
You say that a few times.
I'm focused on diamond. Focused on diamond. Yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. And so step 12, and in the book there's a little more detail. We talk about some of those. You can do everything. But so step 12, and I don't know if your upline or downline is watching, but I'm sure either are excited for you right now. So the last step is action steps. Obviously, feeling confident that you can reach diamond is not a guarantee you're going to reach diamond. You still have to climb the hill, do the work, do the steps. What is the next step for you in achieving diamond? Like, what's the next action step now that you have this focus?
Finding my fifth leader to get as excited as I am.
Okay. So finding my fifth leader. So after the call, jot down a few notes about that, and then you can start working on an action plan to just go after that. So what we're doing with this technique is we're just freeing up the energy so it can flow in the direction that you want it to go. It's kind of like water running, and it hits a boulder. It doesn't just stop, right? It finds a way around the boulder. That's what we're doing. And we're just freeing up that energy. It's like we're breaking the dams, the water's flowing again. And now what's going to happen is, so I want you to say that affirmation morning and night for a few days until it really is integrated. Now, what we normally do with AFT, and which is why people want to learn more and get certified and everything, is, this isn't the only block you have. This is, we all have thousands of them, but this one was the one you had to deal with today. So a few days from now, maybe you're talking with someone and you get really nervous, like, oh, I don't know if I can talk to that person, So you might do an AFT session on, I feel confident talking to that person. And then it might bring up a memory of being in 4th grade when something happened and whatever. So every time you feel a block, you do AFT, which is really why it's meant to be a self-care tool. It's something that people should have in their pocket. They can take themselves through. Everything I took you through, you can take yourself through that.
Oh, right? For sure. Yeah.
It's okay. It's just you've learned the 12 steps. I'll tell you guys a little tip. I do it in the shower, and it works really well. And here's what I do. So every day I'm in the shower, and I'm like, okay, is there anything about today that I feel less than a 5 about? That I feel like, whether it's a meeting coming up or a goal I'm working on, if there's anything that I feel any doubt about, I take myself through the steps. Okay, what's the negative voice say? What's the feeling? Where do I feel in my body? Drift back to a memory. I get the memory. I pull out my Copaiba vanilla shampoo from Young Living. It's awesome. And I do that, I lather it up, and I smell my shampoo, whatever Young Living shampoo I have, and I just breathe it through, and that stuff goes away. And then I do my affirmation power pose, and the water just washes it down, and I am good to go for the day. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, and that's how my life's been since this technique. I went from, I let go of my psychology practice because I could help way more people with this technique than I could with clinical psychology. Go figure. So, because I could help someone with psychology, but then they were coming into me every week, and I was working hard, and they were working hard. Even if I did help them, which I did help a lot of people, but even if I did, they couldn't go home and turn around and help their family. But with this, I'm helping teach somebody something they can use themselves, and they can go help others with. So
think of the kids. Think of the teenagers that struggle with so many things that you can help. You're right. Everybody with this, and it's a breathing technique with an oil. Why wouldn't everybody on this call try that, and and then share that with somebody else, because what a feeling, you guys. It's like 20 pounds, like boom, like I'm going to go enroll everybody in Target now or something. You know what I mean? It does have that impact.
Yeah,
Watch
right.
out, Target.
Yeah, right. Watch out.
Just
I love it.
saying.
So yeah, so I designed it to be something that people could do themselves, and so you are welcome to learn the technique yourself, practice it on yourself, your family, your friends, do it with your downline, your team, whoever you want. You can do it with prospects and get them like, wow, what just happened? Well, here, get these oils and I'll show you how to do it. So, and then if you want to charge for it, you have to be certified. There's two reasons why people get certified. One is if they want to charge for it, which some people have shifted their whole practices and they do AFT now and they charge sessions, individual or group sessions, because it works great in groups. You need to get certified for that. Or if you just really want to master the technique and go through the whole personal growth learning process, because as I said, we all have thousands of these little, they're called neuro-emotional complexes in NET, these thousands of little things that we got to keep popping those. After a while, you've popped enough of those, you can start having days where there's just no negative thoughts at all. But it happens for me. Then every now and then, then I want to dream bigger. So like we're moving to California. I'm opening up an Aroma Freedom Institute there. Like, well, guess what? Like the rents are like 5 times there than they are here, right? So so I've had to stretch my understanding of who I am and what I can accomplish. And this is what happens with as you succeed, you grow bigger, but then it can trigger stuff that you got to clear out. So so the certification process, the way it works, again, you don't have to be certified, but if you choose to, I do an online certification. It's 8 weeks of weekly Zoom calls where people come on and we do clearings like this. I do it with everyone on everything from just the confidence to doing the sessions to troubleshooting. What we just did with you is a simple little thing. There are sessions sometimes that people get stuck where they can't quite get the intention right, or they can't name the feelings. So we kind of troubleshoot those things to just give people mastery of that. And then everyone gets matched with a mentor so that you have someone mentoring you through the process, because your stuff's, I'll just be honest, your stuff's going to come up when you go through the certification. And then, but we just have a fabulous group of people that are all supporting each other now for that. So we do it online like that. We just started, the last one of this year just started in November. We just had our second call. If people really want to get in now, then they can reach out to me and I can find a way to make it happen, because we can watch replays. Otherwise, we'll be starting them in January again. Also, we travel, so if we get 10 or 20 people in a city who want this, we'll come and do it in a weekend, and we'll do the certification. Everyone goes through, and they give it and they receive it and they practice and troubleshoot. And so by the end of it, you feel that confidence level. So those are some of the ways you can learn. Also just Aroma. So aromafreedom.com is where you get my books and DVDs and stuff. And Aroma Freedom Academy is the online portal where you can register for certification and stuff like that. So it's just been a lot of fun, and it's a really a new paradigm that we're having here. It's a paradigm of self-responsibility where people, instead of having to run off to a therapist or whatever, they're just dealing with their stuff.
So easy. Have you ever helped anybody with pain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pain.
So
well,
I
actually did my dissertation on chronic pain, and I way before I knew about oils, but I did it on case studies of people who recovered from chronic pain when they learned what the emotional connection was. Because that's what I did the dissertation on, because anytime someone has an injury, they're going to channel any unresolved emotional pain. They're going to feel it at the site of the injury. So it's not that the injury isn't real. The injury maybe really did happen, but it should have healed by now. Why didn't it heal? Because emotionally, anytime we're in pain, we're being reminded of all the other times we were in pain, right? So we've had people, we have a fun story of a massage therapist. She's one of my certified instructors now. And she had this guy come in with a frozen shoulder, and he was, they were going to do massage. They were getting ready to do surgery on him because they couldn't unfreeze his shoulder. And she had just learned AFT. She said, hey, well, let me try some AFT with him. So they did AFT, went back to a memory when he was a competitive swimmer in high school, and he didn't like it. He didn't want to be there, and he injured himself when he was swimming. And that anger and that upset, so they went back, they released it, his shoulder unlocked before he even got on the table. So this is what I tell people. body workers actually do AFT first, unlock the emotional stuff, and then the physical stuff really flies. The same is true with raindrop. Do it before raindrop, and it really kind of just opens you up emotionally. So the only thing I tell people, I like people to integrate it with other techniques, but don't integrate something in the middle of this. Like, don't get to step 4 and then do some Reiki or do some tones or whatever, you know. Do that stuff before or after. AFT works totally fine as a complete system, but you can kind of blend it in with coaching. You could blend it in with psychotherapy. I mean, I do think there still is a place for psychotherapy, people that really need someone to bounce things off of and process and, you know, integrate what's happening in their life. This, I believe, makes psychotherapy 10 times faster, but and eventually I would like psychotherapists to be using this more. And also, you know, if you're doing it with people, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. If you start doing this with people, you're going to have, whether it's yourself or someone you do it with, they're going to start having an ugly cry, and they're going to be like, oh, you know, intense stuff will come up. So if you stick with the process, stay with the steps, you're going to get through it beautifully. And I tell something I learned years ago in EMDR training. They said, if you're afraid of tunnels and you're driving and you're in the tunnel, the last thing you want to do is take your foot off the gas. You keep your foot on the gas until you're through the tunnel. So the same is true with this. If emotions come up, in your case, those memories, they were pretty easy for you. You just kind of processed through real quick. If it was a deep, painful memory, there might have been tears. That's okay. Nothing wrong with tears. Just keep focusing on the memory, breathing into the oils into it, and then ride the wave, and within about 30 seconds to a minute, you're good. Now, but if you feel at any point like it's more than you can handle, then you do want to refer to a psychologist or therapist. You know, have them in the loop. You still do know what your scope of practice is, because we're not diagnosing or treating anything. So we're not going out saying, hey guys, I can heal depression, anxiety, and PTSD. We don't say that for a variety of reasons. We don't say that, but mostly because when you label it like that, then that's limiting what you can do. We just help people. Hey, you have a goal. I'm going to help you reach that goal, and that's all we're doing.
Wow, that's just awesome. So guys, get his book and get this down pat and do it, and why you could do it daily like you do. I mean, if you're struggling through the day, I love that. That's a great tip. So thank you, and we're so blessed to have you as part of our team and, you know, circumference of friends, and we're all in this together, right? So
absolutely. I met so many fabulous people. Like I had met you online before, but it was such a treat to meet you in person, you know. So I know. You know, but you know, we can meet online until we all meet in person.
I love it. That's what I love. I love live. So you guys, if you catch us on the replay and watch it and try it and just do it and let us know if it works, because I think that's the best part, is to go, we made an impact on somebody and they're better, and that's just what we do in this business. It's not about oil and selling, and it's about changing a life from the inside out and making them a better person. One technique could do that, you guys. So awesome, Pamela. You got to start doing it. Fabulous. So awesome. Thanks again, Benjamin. We'll see you again. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stacy.
Yep. Have a great day, guys. Bye.